There we go. That worked. Okay, now you can see the shirts in the background, and I'm wearing my Merida shirt. So, um, uh, since after I watched through all the Disney movies, I ended up doing all the Disney rankings, which I believe just finished up or so very recently. And since I have now finished watching through all of the Pixar movies again, I'm going to rank them. Now, again, this is not based on just like my critique of the whole film. It's just based on my overall how much I liked the film, how much I guess emotional attachment I had to the film, because that's gonna have an impact of how much I like the movie. Um, you know, whether different things like that. I have A, B, C, D, and F on this, just because that's the way that I'm used to ranking stuff. I can already guarantee you there's going to be no F ones, and there is most likely going to be no D ones. Mostly going to be A's and B's with maybe one or two C's or so, depending on stuff. But yeah, mostly A's and B's in regards to Pixar, just for how much I love the movies and the characters and all this other stuff. I think I hear the dog. He may come in the room. I don't know. We'll find out. And if I sniffle or cough at any point in the video, I apologize. I hate allergies, and allergens are in the air a lot right now, so those are really affecting me. I live in Nebraska, and we have like wheat pollen and all that other fun stuff that gets taken care of. So, time to rank stuff. Let's see. I was just gonna go in order for the movies in regards to the order that they came out. So, first up, we have Toy Story. See, the thing is that because, particularly the first two Toy Story movies have been they were a huge part of my childhood, and everything, that it's this whole thing of just like, well, these movies already mean so much to me, so it's just like, they're going to be affected by that for how much I really, really like them. And by the way, I have not predetermined any of these, so I do not know what one is going to end up being, the highest ranking one, the highest ranking A. I don't know yet. I have an idea or two, but I don't know exactly yet, given, since I haven't done this yet. Okay, so Toy Story. I gotta go with A at the very least for Toy Story for the first one. I can't put it in B, it just doesn't feel right. And then we have A Bug's Life. In regards to A Bug's Life, it's like, it's always one of the people it's one of the ones that people forget that Pixar made, but it's still a really fun movie. And I mean, like, I did see the DreamWorks Ants that probably came out they came out around the same time, in all honesty, for various reasons. Go look it up. But as I said, Pixar is going to be a lot of A's and B's. But I think Bug's Life is going to go in B. That doesn't mean that it's like a B ranked movie or anything like that. That just means that, in my opinion of how much I love the Pixar movies, it's like a B, but it's just like I'd still love to sit and watch any of the Pixar movies at almost any given time. Then we have Toy Story 2. Again, it's one of the ones that was there in my childhood so much. I play with my toys the way that Andy plays with his toys, where it's just like all this imagination and everything that goes with that. And I mean, it's got to go up in A also. Then we have Monsters, Inc. And I may end up shuffling some around at some point in time, depending on where other things fall. And then we have Monsters, Inc. I love Sully. I love Boo. I love Mike. I love what they did with the Monsters at Work series, where they get like a little bit more into like how they switched over from scream power to laugh power and such, but that's not taken into account with how much I love the movie. Same thing with like any of the Toy Story shorts don't really affect how much I like or love the Toy Story movies. Also, A Bug's Life was one of the ones that did not get a sequel. I mean, there are several that have not gotten sequels, even though like Inside Out just got announced that it is going to have a sequel, so that'll be fun. But there's several others that don't have sequels, but it would be really nice if they did. if they end up making sequels for them. And it took them how long to do like a sequel to, Monsters Inc. itself, and then Finding Dory and everything, how long that took. Um, but sorry, back to Monsters Inc. for how much. I, I actually like it a little bit more than I like Toy Story 2. So, no, go there. No, move over here. There we go. Finding Nemo. I love the artwork in the movie. I love just the design of the movie with all the beautiful underwater shots that they did for the movie, that they made for the movie. I love how they did that. Marlon's a great dad. He's a very protective father, which is probably the way I would end up being as a parent. Very, very protective. Not as overly protective as Marlon, but still pretty protective. Dory's great. The sharks are funny. The tank gang is always great. A. The Incredibles. Side note, I started playing a mobile game on my phone that's called Disney Mirrorverse, and it's a little bit along the lines of like Kingdom Hearts, because it's like you can play as different Disney characters and fight as them, and fight against like Disney villains and stuff like that. But they're all like reimagined versions of them. So like Snow White has like a giant battle axe, which I'm just like, I already approve of this game. They gave Snow White a giant weapon. And like, everybody has different powers and stuff like that. And like they have, like I have Sully and I have Mike, and like you can get Dory as a character. I've got Mr. Incredible. You can get Violet. You can get Buzz and Woody and, a bunch of different Pixar characters. You can get Merida in there. I've got Merida, a bunch of the other princesses, and I just really like the game. So I just wanted to throw that in here at the moment. But so that's not going to affect it, but it's fun playing as Mr. Incredible because he just like punches stuff, which is kind of what Mr. Incredible does in the movies anyway. Again, how long was it in between Incredibles and Incredibles 2? So Incredibles, The Incredibles. I actually like that a little bit more than I like Finding Nemo. Then we have Cars. I have watched through some of the Cars on the Road miniseries that they have up on Disney Plus. That's like Mater and Lightning having to go to like Mater's sister's wedding, and that's just kind of funny for like additional things into the story, which is just kind of cute. They go to a bunch of different roadside attractions. Let's see, where does Cars land for me? I love the music in the movie. I love just how they build up like Radiator Springs. Lightning, I love the transformation that Lightning goes through in the movie in regards to his character development, which is just really great. Nemo's moving down the list. Still loved it. Still love sitting and watching it. Then we have Ratatouille. And I do really, really like Ratatouille, but and it's like I like Remy and I like Linguini and everything. But it's not really, it's gonna go here. I love how they show like the different skill that it takes for cooking and everything. And maybe you shouldn't necessarily befriend a rat, but it's this concept of anybody. It's the whole purpose of the movie is like anybody can become anything. As in like anybody can become a chef, can become a writer, a musician, an actor, or whatever, if you put your mind to it. That doesn't mean everybody should, because it's just like everybody can do something. That does not mean everybody should do something. As in like Linguini should not cook. Let Remy cook. But yeah. Then we have WALL-E. Back here at the moment. Protect your planet. And yeah, we need to learn that as not just as a country, but as a world. I love WALL-E. Oh, you get to play Eve is also in the Mirrorverse game, and like you can run around as her, and she like fires off lasers, and it's really fun. I think WALL-E's in there too, but I haven't unlocked WALL-E. I love Wally. I love all of the different space things that we see, all the different, setups where we see how beautiful space is. And, recently there's been more pictures coming back from, the telescope that's been getting even better quality pictures and everything. So it's just really, I just love all of those different space things, those, pictures of the stars and everything, and like how Pixar built that up. I love that. Also, just Eve and Wally are just one of my favorite Pixar couples in general. Speaking of couples, Up. Oh God, the first 5 minutes of Up. Oh God. Ellie and Carl. Um, so, um, again, I love Up. I love Kevin, but Kevin the bird. One of my managers at work, his name is Kevin, and he has a picture of like I guess the last time he went to like Disney World or something like that with like him and then like the bird Kevin in the background. So he's well aware of that, and I've pointed out that before, and he's just like, yeah, I really like Kevin too. It's just funny. Um, I like how they show, it's like how they show Carl growing as a person, which is just really great. Uh, the kid is adorable. Um, we have the evil other old man and like the old man fight. That was really funny. I love that fight. I mean, it's dangerous, but it's funny because it's two old men fighting against each other. And rest in peace, both Christopher Plummer and oh, uh, the guy that played Carl. Why can I not remember his name? Ed Asner. Was that Ed Asner? I think it was Ed Asner that played him. Um, up, up goes here. Then we have Toy Story 3, which is one of the Toy Story movies that just kind of broke me at one point. When it's just like, no, don't go into the giant, the giant death trap for the toys. Don't do that. At the end of it, they're saved by the aliens. I'm sorry. I love that. That movie, first time I saw it in theaters, I'm like, well, they can't kill them. And I was just like, okay, good. They're alive. We're good. They're going to go be with Bonnie now. That works. Andy passing on his toys, which is a lesson I could probably learn, but like I've passed on toys to my nieces and nephew and stuff like that, but now they're getting older, so we probably should get those toys passed on to someone else that'll play with them. Because toys are meant to be played with. I love Toy Story. I love the Toy Story movies. Then we have Cars 2. On a lot of people's rankings, Cars 2 is generally the lowest, and on this one, it's probably going to be the lowest for me. I'd still sit and watch it because I still like it, but it's not a movie that I'm like, oh yeah, I want to watch this one right away. It's just like, I'm good. Can I just go from Cars 1 to Cars 3? But yeah, so it's like they focus more on Mater, and that's just not as much of a thing that I care that much for. I mean, like I like Mater, but yeah, he did not need an entire movie dedicated to him, as much as they did. B or C? Because that's the only one that I would ever consider putting in C. I mean, it's still got good music and everything, but yeah. Oh, and as you probably noticed, even though I did review the Planes movies, I did not put them in here. I still like both of the Planes movies a lot, but I just couldn't figure out where I could compare them to the other Pixar movies. So no Planes. That's okay. Then we have Brave. Merida shirt. I love Brave. I have loved Brave ever since I think saw the trailers for it when it first came out. I love just how beautiful they made Scotland. I love Merida as a princess, as a person. I love her parents and her brothers. I love how she does have to go through this whole journey of figuring out that, she keeps blaming the witch, and then it's just like, no, it is actually your fault that your mom got turned into a bear. but your mother also needs to take some responsibility in the fact that she was not taking, into consideration your own feelings in regards to certain things. She's trying to force you into a mold that clearly is not for you. And in the end, the other tribes, the other clans are all okay with her decision to wait until she's older to become, to pick a suitor and let them actually like woo her before they try to win her. And, there's issues in the issues going on in the world right now in regards to how the worth of women. So we'll leave that as that. But Brave goes straight to the top of the list. I'm sorry, nothing against the Toy Story and Monsters Inc., but it goes straight to the top of the list. Then we have Monsters University. By the way, I really want them to do a Brave sequel. I mean, we got like a little bit more of stuff in like Once Upon a Time, but I want there to be like a Brave sequel. I would really love that. Show like Merida as queen or something, like this next thing that she has to deal with. I would love that, but they're not going to do that, unfortunately. Or a miniseries. That would be great. You got Disney Plus, do that. But moving on. Ramblings of a girl in Nebraska that loves Disney and anime. So then we have Monsters University. Again, it out of the sequels, it's not my favorite. I like it more than I like Cars 2. I like more that we get this character development between Mike and Sully and how we actually see their friendship grow. Top of the B list. Still, love to sit and watch it. Love how they built up this like extension of like the monster world with like how they're trained at Monsters University and everything, and I love how they did that. That's just great. And I love the principal or the dean, Dean Hardscrabble. She was like my favorite new character in that entire movie, and I loved her. She's like, I will freaking terrify you. Yes, you will. Please do not do that. I love Dean Hardscrabble. She's great. Then we have Inside Out, which we just, of course, very like a couple of months ago or so at the Disney Expo or whatever, got announced that they're going to do a Pixar or an Inside Out 2, and most of the cast is coming back, or the whole cast is coming back, which I'm already up for like Riley being older. I'm like, yes, you have my attention. So we'll see how that goes in regards to Inside Out 2, but in regards to the original Inside Out, I love Joy. I love the different characters. All the different emotions. Riley's great. Her parents are great. Her parents' emotions are hilarious. Seeing other people's emotions is just funny. This whole journey that goes into, being overly positive all the time isn't always a healthy thing. And that's kind of what the movie is trying to teach you, that like, yes, enjoying life is good, but sometimes letting your emotions show that you're not necessarily happy is also a good thing to do, because it's important for you to be able to experience all of your emotions. If you're angry, be angry. If you're sad, be sad. If you're scared, be scared. If you're, disgusted with something, be disgusted with it, depending on the certain circumstances of what it is to certain degrees. And that's the whole point of the movie, and I love how they show that in the movie. It's not B. There. Let's see. Now we have The Good Dinosaur. The Good Dinosaur, I do very much love how they did. I love the landscapes in the movie, first of all. Just that part of the movie just already struck me with the landscapes in The Good Dinosaur, and I talked about that in the review for The Good Dinosaur. You want full explanations as to the movies and why I love them or where I have issues with them, just go watch the reviews if you didn't do that already. But, I love how they, how it is a coming of age story for Arlo, and, finding friends. It's a little bit of like a buddy comedy at various points between him and Spot. But then it's also like the doing the right thing in regards to, him protecting Spot, and then, him, letting Spot go with his own family and everything, and then him getting back to his own family. Um, a Good Dinosaur sequel would be an interesting way of doing it, or like a mini series again would be a good way to like expand on the world a little bit. But where does The Good Dinosaur fall for me? It's like I'm stuck between low A and high B. I'm gonna go with high B. The characters in it are great, but it's just not as like I didn't connect to it as much as I did other ones. Still love the movie though. Then we have Finding Dory. And Finding Dory, I can already tell you, is going to go into the B category. It's not that I don't like it. I still really like the movie. I like how Dory goes on this journey and how she, kind of proves to herself and to Marlin and to Nemo and to, into her parents and to her friends and everything, and how everybody's like in the ocean, and now there's some random beluga whale or not beluga whale, yeah, beluga whale. That's what Bailey is. And then, Destiny, some random whale shark, and like, I don't know, wherever the heck Dory and Marlin and Nemo are supposed to be from. Random whale shark now there. So yeah, I like that. I like how they do that. I like them jumping around the aquarium and everything and such, but I didn't like it as much as I liked the original. I like the relationship that they show between Dory and her parents. I love how they did that. But yeah. Then we have Cars 3. And in all honesty, Cars 3 pretty much stacks up right against the original. I have to say. Stacks up really well against the original. I love the music. I love how they did more character development for Lightning and for his relationship with Cruz and all this other stuff where we just see like how his relationship grew with the people from Radiator Springs. But also just in general with the way that his relationship, with himself grew. And, I love how they showed that, yeah, there's all these new upcoming racers and everything, but they're not, it doesn't mean that he still can't race. He just has to find the kind of racing that works for him. And I'm sounding very stuffed up right now. Sorry. Yeah. Then we have Coco. Oh God, Coco. I actually have a video that I'm working on that is going to come out on the 1st of November for like Dia de Muertos. That's like a concept that's like a Coco concept, but mixed with One Piece. And it's not like the Straw Hats go to like a Dia de Muertos island. I did that last year. This is a different concept that I thought of that involves Brooke. But for Coco, for the land, I love the Land of the Remembered. Again, beautifully designed area. I love the family that they built up for the movie. I had a whole video where I talked about the different family members in Coco for regards to the family tree. I loved how they designed this movie. I love the music. I love how they do the twist with like who the villain is and who the actual great-grandfather is. Great-great-grandfather, whatever way that it boils down to. I love how they did that. Coco. Then we have Incredibles 2. Again, I'd say it stacks up extremely well next to the original in regards to the kids and how they've, grown, even though it's been a very extremely short time. And additional things like that, the way that Bob and Helen have to deal with, this new reality and Helen getting to go and be the hero. I love that. Yeah, I'd say Coco fits good right between those two. I love just like additional things that they did with the movie in regards to like, you know, how they did the Evelyn Deviler as the villain and everything. Um, and how like they show the different sides of that and everything. I love that. Again, if they did an Incredibles 3, I don't know what they do, but I'd be already, you have my attention. Now show me more. Then we have Toy Story 4. And that's actually going to be like the lowest ranked out of the Toy Story movies, but I still love it. I love the character development that they gave Bo in the movie. I love how they gave Woody this thing where he has to find his new purpose because he's not quite what Bonnie needs. Everything that they show with, you know, Gabby and everything that goes with that. Could have done without Ducky and Bunny as the weird tag-along characters, but you know, Key and Peele are funny. I love, you know, how they do that, like showing Bonnie growing up and everything. Because we've all had that time frame where it's just like, oh, I don't really care for this toy as much anymore, and you know, all that type of stuff. Although there is the whole thing of like, well, if Andy ever comes back to visit and goes to see Bonnie, he's probably going to ask where his toys are. Where Woody is, specifically. And she's going to be like, oh, I lost him when we were like on vacation at like a fair or something. I don't think Andy is going to be very happy about that. But yeah. Then we have Onward. Onward is very much, you know, the siblings, the brothers movie, which is not a problem. It is kind of a coming of age movie in regards to Ian. Ian is also a character in the Disney Mirrorverse. Have not unlocked him yet. I don't know if Barley is, but Ian is. And I just, you know, within the concept of Onward, I love how it's this, you know, this like mythical creatures, trolls, goblins, elves, centaurs, pixies, you know, take your pick. You know, all these different ones together living in this world, and it's like a modern version. You know, it's like our world and everything, you know, chimeras, you know, whatever you want to go with, that they're really fun, and I love how they designed that world, and it's just great. And yet there is still magic and everything in it, and I love that. I do love the relationship that they show with Barley and Ian, and their mom is freaking amazing. Their mom is great. I love their mom. You know, I love how they show that journey for the two brothers and how them growing as siblings just works really well. Then we have Soul. I love the music in Soul. I kind of love how they designed, you know, the great before and everything. You know, it is kind of a little bit of I wouldn't call it a coming of age story because, well, I mean, I guess it's like kind of 22 kind of becoming of age and everything with everything that they go through into, being around, you know, Joe and such. But parts of the movie connect with me, yes, but it's not as like, I don't connect to it as well as I did to other people, or as well as I did to other Pixar movies. Stop that. There we go. I don't connect to it as well as I did to other Pixar movies, and it's not for any particular reason. I just didn't. I still really, really like the movie, but then we have Luca. Again, Luca kind of falls into this category where it's just like, I really like the movie. I love the design for the movie. I love the concept of the movie. It's just not as high on my list of, it's just like, oh yeah, let's go watch a Pixar movie. It's not as high on that list. Still love the design, still love the world that they built for it with, like, Luca and all of his family and such being sea monsters and shifting back and forth, and then of course being on land and everything that we see there with Julia and Massimo and everything. I love how they did all of that. But it doesn't rank quite as high. And then we have Turning Red. Oh god, Turning Red. I love the anime references all throughout the movie. I love that. I love how basically like the lady that did the movie was just like the director of it. Like so many of the people in the movie were just like, oh yes, I would get along wonderfully with these people. I would love to sit and talk with you about anime and all this other stuff. Yes, yes, yes. Um, I love how they did that. I just thought that was great. I love May and I love her friends. Um, in Pokemon Go, very recently, I finally got a really really good Stuffle that I named May and evolved into a Beware. So I love that. I love the shifting back and forth for May from into the panda and finding what works for her. There. And then we have Lightyear, the most recent one, the final one. Um, I I really loved what they did with Lightyear in regards to like, okay, so this is like where the Lightyear doll came from and everything. That this is the movie that toy is based off of and everything. I love how they did that. The reverse engineering of a doll into a movie character, or not a doll, a toy, a action figure into a movie character. I love how they did that. Um, I love the setup for the movie. I love the characters that they developed for the movie with Izzy and um with Alicia and everything. I love the whole thing of just like Buzz is so focused on the mission that literally he's so focused on the mission everybody else around him is, getting older every time he leaves and comes back, and he's still focused on the mission while everybody else has been able to actually like live their life. And that was Alicia's would regret, was that like she didn't just stop Buzz and make him stop so that way he could just stop and live his life and actually see that people are actually getting happy and settling in and actually finding family and like having their own family and everything. And that's what he ends up hearing from Izzy, of course. I love the Zurg twist, is that he's the old Buzz and everything. I love how they did that. That was just great. Um, Again, the imagery in the movie was really good. I love the planet and how they designed it. Goes here. So there we have it. The majority of the Pixar movies are A rank movies, and even the other ones would be like really high B for the most part, for like, a Good Dinosaur and Luca and such. Yeah, Cars 2 is like the least one that I want to watch, but I'd still watch it. But, I like how that turned out. I wasn't surprised that Brave ended up being at the top of the list. I figured it was going to be either Brave or like one of the original Toy Story movies or Pixar or, Monsters Inc. One of those ones was going to be my top one. So Brave being the top of the list, not a surprise, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I would have to say that is most definitely my favorite Pixar movie. Coming up because this is going to come out in October. A lot of the videos in October are gonna be about like some different Disney villains, where I talk about some of the other villains in regards to like ranking them in regards to like there's the official Disney villains that are like Ursula and Jafar and things like that, and then there's like the more side ones that are like Medusa or Madame Medusa and like a couple of other ones that are from not the as higher grossing of the movies, I guess. And I'm going to do 2 separate videos where I rank them as how much, my favorite of these to my least favorite of these. And then I'm going to have another video that I think is going to come out on Halloween that is going to be about what Disney villains scare me the most. And hint, it's not because of any form of like magical over-the-top power that they have. It's for other reasons for why they scare me the most, or why they're the scariest in my opinion. But yeah, so those will be coming out later on in October. So, and then I'll have some other possibly more fun-ish ones. I haven't decided yet. But we'll go from there. So that's what I have. I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you don't agree with the rankings of the Pixar movies, that's fine. This is just how I rank them. You're more than welcome to rank them in your own way. However way you want to set them up in that way. Same thing with the Disney movies. You may like certain ones a lot more than I do, and that is perfectly fine. So Thank you for watching. I hope you have a nice rest of your day. Bye.